here to build your Priority Classic freewheel. Now, before we get started, it's important to know that we always recommend that you either have your bicycle assembled by a professional bicycle mechanic, or if you choose home assembly, to make sure and have a professional bicycle mechanic safety check your bike before riding it. Now, let's get started. You're going to need a pair of scissors. Slice open the straps, any tape, and open the box. Once you've emptied the contents of the carton, you should have a parts and accessories box and your bicycle. Using your scissors, remove all of the protective packaging. When you're unpacking the front fork, make sure and turn the front fork so that the brakes face forward. Once unpacked, you should have a water bottle cage, a front handlebar reflector over your seat post reflector, right and left pedals, your instruction manuals, a 15mm wrench, a 6, 5, and 4mm Allen wrench, and seat and seat post, and pump. Now is a great time to stop, read the owner's manuals before proceeding with assembly. Once you're ready, let's install the handlebars. Grab the long 6mm Allen wrench. Lift up the handlebars and twist them around so that the front brake cable shows in front, and then the gear cable and the rear brake cable. You're going to first need to loosen the stem bolt, just a few turns, to pull off the black cap, which is garbage. Now, insert the stem, first the wedge, and then the stem into the handlebars. We're going to very loosely tighten for now, just so the handlebars stay in place.
With your handlebars installed, you may notice that your brake levers are pointing up and that your shifter is pointing towards you. This is incorrect. To adjust these, go ahead and loosen the stem pinch bolt with your 6mm wrench. Then, once loose, rotate your handlebars so that your shifter is more level with the ground and your brake levers are pointed slightly downward. Then, go ahead and tighten the stem pinch bolt. Tighten this enough that the wrench leaves an indentation in the palm of your hand.
But we're going to need to come back later and actually give these some torque. Next, let's move on to the front wheel. If your bicycle came with the brake arms engaged, you'll need to remove the noodle from the holder before inserting the wheel. Pull the levers together and remove the noodle from the holder. Grab your 15mm wrench and your front wheel. Take a look at the tire tread. The tire tread makes an arrow. The arrow needs to point forward. If you're unsure, look at the rear wheel and make sure that the tire tread faces the same direction as the rear wheel. Loosen each axle bolt and hold the washers on each side towards the axle bolt. Now insert the front wheel into the fork of the bike, keeping the washers on the outside. Make sure each hook goes into the appropriate hole at the top of the fork leg. Hand tighten each side. Then, using the closed end of your 15mm wrench and holding the bike so that the wheel is straight, tighten. Now put the kickstand down on the bike. To rehook your brakes, squeeze both calipers together. Then insert the tip of the noodle into the right caliper bracket. Then take the dust cover and move it over the tip of the noodle. Next, we're going to install the seat post. Take your seat and seat post and the 5mm wrench. This is the middle of the 3 size Allen wrenches. First, loosen the seat clamp a few turns. Then put the seat and seat post into the bike frame. Note that there is some grease in the seat tube of the bike, so be careful not to get grease on you. Put the seat to an appropriate height. You can always adjust this later. Make sure it's straight and tighten. Next, we're going to install the pedals. A quick note about your pedals. Your left pedal, or the non-drive side of the bike, has 3 textured lines on the axle. The right pedal, or the drive side of the bike, is completely smooth on the axle flats. To install your pedals, get your 15mm wrench, your right and left pedal. The right pedal is for the drive side of the bike. It's standard thread, so righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, or the way to think of it is to twist towards the front of the bike. Make sure and get your pedals really tight. The left pedal is reverse threaded. So this time you're going to turn towards the left, or again, turn towards the front of the bike, counterclockwise. To install your water bottle cage, remove both bolts with the 4mm Allen wrench. Then reinstall. To install your rear reflector, use any household Phillips screwdriver, remove the screw, take the reflector and have it face the rear, and reinstall the screw and tighten. Using your screwdriver, follow the same process to install your front reflector. Before we adjust your stem, make sure that your left hand or front brake cable's in front, followed by your right hand or rear brake cable with the cable going around the left, and your gear cable also going around the left. If you have any of the cable routing wrong, feel free to loosen your stem, remove it, change the cable routing as need be, and reinsert. Be careful as there is grease inside the head tube of the bike. Make sure that the stem is inserted at least as far as the minimum insertion mark. Once you have the stem at your desired height and ensuring its center, tighten. Using your 4, 5, and 6mm Allen wrenches, you can adjust the angle of your brakes, gear shift, and handlebar. For your rear brake cable, separate the 3 bumpers. Finally, let's put air in your tires. Remove the valve cap. Grab your pump, removing the cable. Using the larger of the holes in the valve head, push onto the tire and flip up the lever to lock in place. Now pump until 70 on the red inside PSI gauge. Then remove the hose and reinstall the valve cap. Repeat for the front. We've completed the basic assembly. Please now go through all of the nuts and bolts on the bike and ensure that everything is tight. Proper torque specifications are in your instruction manual. We also recommend that you have a professional bicycle mechanic safety check your assembly before beginning to ride. We hope you love your new bicycle, and if you have any questions, please feel free to contact us at any time. info@prioritybicycles.com is often our fastest way to respond. Your grip, ideally about 1.5 to 2 fingers width. If you find that your lever needs additional pull, or you need to add additional space to it, you can screw the barrel adjuster inward, first by backing off the locking nut. If you find that your lever is pulling too much and you need to add tension, you can again loosen the locking nut and pull the barrel adjuster out. When you're done with the lever pull, go ahead and tighten the locking nut so everything's tight. Then let's move on to the calipers themselves. First, check each brake pad and make sure that it's squarely hitting the rim. If it's not squarely hitting the rim, you'll need to adjust using a 5mm Allen. Next, see that both brakes are evenly grabbing. You'll see on my bike, the left side is grabbing a lot sooner than the right side. To adjust this, we're going to use a Phillips screwdriver on these black spring tension screws. Start by removing spring tension. So since this lever is grabbing more quickly, I'm going to remove or back off this a half turn. And try again. You can see I'm getting a little more movement from the right. I'll again back this off a half turn. And now you can see I'm getting equal pull on both sides. If you want to, you can also add spring tension by screwing in. Though I always prefer to try and remove tension first.